Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. I am so delighted to spend my birthday morning with the fabulous Mr. Jonathan Moore. How are you?
I'm good. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I guess I met you during COVID times.
Yep.
You played with the New Haven Symphony Orchestra when they were doing their concert series at the Canal Dock Boathouse out on the promenade.
Right.
And I specifically wanted to come to that particular show because, first of all, it was very blackety black. But they had you and another sister who they've commissioned a piece from, and I've had her on right after that, but I never got a chance to talk to you in depth. So you play the cello. You play the cello.
Right.
Is that right?
Yep.
You're very young. Come from a musical family. You just graduated from Southern, right?
Yeah. Last year.
And so you come from a musical family. So talk to me about what was it like growing up and figuring out what instrument you wanted to play, or did you always know it was the cello?
No, actually, my first instrument was drums. I love the drums. So growing up in church, you're surrounded by the keyboard, the bass, and the drums, but something about the drums that fascinated me the most, it's just the
loud.
sound. Yes, it's loud. You can bang on it, and me being a kid, that's what I love. So,
and your parents were like, okay, we're going to rethink this.
Right. So my dad, he bought us all a drum set, when we were young. Yeah.
When you say bought us, how many of us is there?
Well, I'm the youngest and I have two older brothers.
Okay.
So 3 of us all together. So we all play musical instruments.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And okay, so he bought all y'all a drum. Like each of you had your own drum, or he bought a drum and y'all all 3 played on it?
One drum set.
Okay. Okay.
So we all had to take turns. So
and how long did that last? Until your mother said, okay, enough.
It actually lasted a few years, because as we grew up, we started to get better at it. So at some point, the drum set, it stayed, as our skills progressed, we started developing in other instruments. So around 5th grade, for some random reason, I just wanted to try the cello.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to Bessie Ross Art Magnet School in New Haven, and my teacher was Miss Cosgrove. I love her still. So, so we all had to be introduced to the arts. So there was a time where I had to go to a string class where the cello, the violin, the viola. So I tried the violin first. I didn't like it. I tried the viola. It was okay, but I still didn't like it. But when I tried the cello, that's when something clicked in me. I'm like, okay, I like this. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's when I started to, expand with the cello, learn more about it, and, grow into that aspect.
So did your parents buy you a cello? Like, because I'm a parent and I put kids through music. You're only going to buy an instrument if you know this kid is going to be committed to it. So did they buy you a cello and say, okay, we see you're committed to this?
They actually didn't buy me a cello. It was Miss Cosgrove, she was my first teacher. She was the one that bought me my own cello. But
wow.
Yeah, but sometimes we get to take our instruments home to practice. So that's what I also did too. But when I graduated middle school, she gave me my own cello.
Wow.
So she made
That's
sure that
pretty special.
Yeah, she made sure I didn't stop, I didn't stop playing. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't stop playing ever since
So
then.
where did you go for high school? Where did you go to high school?
I went to cooperative arts.
Okay, so
Yep.
keeping with the arts theme, did you play in high school?
Yeah, of course. Of
Okay.
course.
Do they have a band at co-op? Like, how did you continue your lessons?
Yeah, so it's kind of like Bessie Rawls. There was still the art, so you got to choose which art you wanted to be in. So I went with strings again. And so my teacher for high school was Mr. Newman. And so during that time, that's when I started to develop my sound, a sound that is different from other people.
Okay.
So I started to experiment with different pedals that gives you a certain reverb sound and a distortion, and the loop pedal, you keep replaying it and replaying it. And so that's when I discovered, okay, there's a lot more things I can do with this instrument. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start experimenting with all these different sounds. So it was pretty much a trial and error. So
now, did your teachers encourage that? Like, because
yes,
we think of the cello as a very instrument for classical music. Like my first thought, cello is for classical music. And then my second thought is jazz. Right. Beyond that, I don't know what else.
Yeah. So my teacher, he said, yeah, you need to definitely expand because there's a lot more things you can do. And personally, I got tired of playing classical music. Seriously. That's all I did from 5th grade all the way to the end of high school. And actually through college too. So I just got sick and tired of playing class. Like I love classical music. Like that's where my root is. But I wanted to find a sound for myself. Like, how can I express myself through the cello? And so during high school, that's when I started to develop that,
Okay. So you get to college, you bring your cello with you, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And so what are you majoring in college? Like what was music, I would imagine?
Just music, like performing. So we had to learn, everything. Different type of music history. You also had music theory. It's intro to improv. So a lot of improv class. You have jazz too. So I was introduced more to the jazz standards with a few teachers, and then that's when I met Rebecca Patterson for
the New Haven Symphony Orchestra. Yeah, she's a badass on that cello.
Yeah, very.
Yes,
I'm
a fan.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. I'm a real fan of her.
Yeah, so
so you meet her, and she notices you have your own talent, your own sound, your own or desire for your own sound, and she wants to help cultivate that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. When she first, it's funny. So when she first saw my cello, it was like broken down pretty much. but because I had it since middle school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had it since middle school. And that didn't stop me from expressing who I was, and the sound that I wanted to give off. So I still performed how I perform. I still expressed myself through that broken down cello. But when she heard it, she's like, yeah, you're different. Like, you're totally different. But she knew there was another sound that I needed, and I couldn't do it with that wooden broken down cello.
Okay.
So she really went beyond to help me get a new cello, and she blessed me so much with a lot, so that's when I got blessed with that black carbon fiber cello.
Whoa. I mean, that's
Yeah.
very rock star, hip hop, badass
Right. Yeah.
instrument. Like it
Yeah. That.
looks slick.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves it. It's like, is that carbon fiber? Yes. but playing with the carbon fiber cello, it's a totally different sound, and that exactly was the sound that I wanted. That's what I needed compared to the wooden cello. I still have the wooden cello. If you were to see it, you'd be like, "What in the world?" So I'm truly thankful for all the teachers that provided me with help and an introduction to my sound. I really couldn't do it without them, and especially my father too. Like he was really my first teacher.
Because your parents are musicians. They are musicians.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so you grew up with music all the time.
Yep, all the time, 24/7.
24/7. So so they didn't really say, well, pick, you got to play this instrument. They was like, well, they allowed y'all to find your own way musically.
Right, exactly. Yep.
I like that idea. So you get to college, you finish. What do you do? What do you do after you graduate? Like, what's the dream? Like, what's the plan? Do you have a plan? Do you have a thought? Like, what would you like to be doing?
Well, I just want to be a performing artist. I just want to travel. I want to do shows. I want to collab with different types of artists. I want to just, I'm the person that doesn't want a 9-to-5. I don't want a 9-to-5. I want a career in what I love to do, and that's play the cello, And I want to make sure that I touch people while I play, and that's just my motivation. Like, can I touch the hearts of many while I perform, while I do this, while I collab with people, So that's pretty much the goal. That's the dream for me. I just want to keep playing.
And so how's it going? So are you picking up gigs? Are you joining other symphonies and bands? And because you're very young, so the whole world is out there. So how do you pick and choose the things you do?
I don't know, to be honest, but I do know that there are shows coming up, and there are gigs, and there's people that want me to go to their schools and talk to the kids and perform for the kids. I love the kids too, but I do have shows coming up. One at the Schubert Theater.
That's coming up May 12th. Now, this is a departure for the NAACP. This is the first time I've ever done anything like that. Usually they do this ridiculously long dinner, but this year they're doing an event, and they've got Raheem Devon, who for the white folks who don't know, he is a R&B soul singer, neo soul kind of guy. And you are opening for him at the Schubert. So what's that like? Are you prepared? What are you thinking about? Do you pull things together? Are you trying things out? How is this? I don't want to raise your anxiety, but
truthfully, this is very exciting, because the Schubert Theater. Are you serious? So for me, I'm just prepping. I'm preparing, and I'm also playing with my brother Trayvon Moore. So
okay.
It's all about preparation.
That's your actual brother. Trayvon is your actual brother.
Yep.
And what instrument does he play?
Oh gosh, he plays the piano, but he plays like 5 other instruments, and he sings.
Okay. So. Wow. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Now, do you sing?
No, I don't sing. My mom and Trayvon, they sing. I don't sing.
I figure, you got a lot of talent. I figured, what's one more, No,
I don't sing. I just play the cello and drums.
So y'all are playing together. Are you playing together?
Yep.
Okay.
We are playing together for one song, and then because I'm playing 2 songs.
Okay.
So one song is gonna feature Trayvon Moore, and then the other song is gonna just be me.
Okay. Yep. Now, are these your original compositions, or are you pulling from somebody's body of work?
Yeah. So for the first song, it's gonna be a mixture. It's gonna be a mixture of my own thing along with some people that inspired me to keep going. You know, I love Kendrick Lamar, so maybe
he's the music of your generation. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So it may be a little bit of, you know, maybe a little bit of Kendrick in there. And then for my own song, it's gonna be original. So
it's
gonna be a mix.
Okay. So now, are you ever surprised that people are surprised when you show up? Because I don't think people see young Black men in the role that you're in. And yes, there's a lot of young Black men musicians, but I don't see young Black men cellists. So
right. Yeah, they are surprised, and sometimes it surprised me. I don't know. It's weird to me because I'm not used to that type of, you know, people coming up to me be like, man, I never saw anybody play the cello like you, especially for a Black man. And, you know, I don't know how to take that in.
Because I'm a Black man and I play the cello. So all right.
So it's pretty weird, but I'm getting used to it. But I know when I first heard things like that, I'm like, what do they mean by that? What do you mean by that?
So now, are you still working with the New Haven Symphony? Are you still working with Miss Patterson? Are you still?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely.
And so, what does that mean? What does that look like? How does that work?
Well, I don't know. They just they call me and be like, hey, like we want you to play for such and such, and I'm so boom. Yes, I will do that. So it's because they show so much hospitality and so much love for the players, and that's an environment that I love to be around. You know, I'm a person that doesn't like drama and all that other stuff. So to be around a positive atmosphere that allows me to be creative and perform well and do what I love to do. So working with the New Haven Symphony has been very, 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 very special. So
okay. So it sounds like you're growing.
Yes.
And you're making some moves.
Yep.
You know. So when you listen to music, who are you listening to? I mean, I know you like Kendrick Lamar, but who's on your playlist?
Oh, Lord, geez.
and do you listen to all kinds of music? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know artists who listen to, I mean, you know, I was talking to somebody, they were talking about some indigenous music from Brazil, and I was like, okay, I'm with that too. So what do you like?
I listen to everything. But most of the time I listen to George Clinton, I listen to Bootsy Collins.
Is that because your parents?
Yeah. I don't have a choice. We never had a choice. We never had a choice. It just grew on us.
Grew on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, a lot of gospel music, a lot of R&B, a lot of 90s hip hop. You'd be surprised. I'm very picky with rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
But I love more of the early 2000s, the 90s. I love that type of, you know, hip hop. Yeah, I listen to everything. Metal, all of that.
Really?
Yeah,
and do you listen to it because it inspires you and you're like, I could do that with the cello?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, I take all types of concepts and I try to put it all in a cello. Like, how can I make this certain sound? How can I make this certain tapping sound with the cello while I play? And, you know, it's all about experimenting for me.
So talk about the sacrifice, because to be as good as you are, there had to be some sacrifice in terms of time and energy. Like, you just can't go to all the things. You can't do everything. You have to say no to some things because you got to be committed to your musicianship. So, and at a very young age, I mean, you've made this commitment. So talk a little bit about what that looks like for you. Because I think people don't realize it takes a huge commitment of time to be very, very good and at the top of your game at something.
Right. So it takes a lot of practice. I practice about almost 2 hours a day.
Whoa.
So if I'm in that zone, I'm in that zone. So so I have the cello exploding through the house and all that stuff. So it's really a lot of sacrifices. I have a girlfriend of almost 6 years, Jasmine. I love her.
I think I met her. I met her. She was at the I didn't want to bring it up until you brought it up because you know I never know what people's situations are with young people.
So I know she want to do a lot of things and be like, babe, I can't. I gotta practice. I gotta practice. But she knows. That's why I love her, because she knows, because she sees it firsthand. The amount of time and practice that I have to take for these certain shows, and it takes a lot. And if I slack on practicing, I'll get very rusty on the cello. I don't want that. I have to stay sharp. I have to stay
now,
sharp.
Musician, at the level that you're at, it is a business. You are your own business. How do you prepare for that? How do you handle that? Who's around? Do you have a team? And talk a little bit about that, because I think people think, oh, you know what? He just plays. No, it's a whole effort. I believe a whole effort that makes you who you are. So talk a little bit about the business side of music.
So the business side of music. So I kind of have a team, but I don't have a team. It's because I always go to either Rebecca Patterson, or I go to my mom, because my mother's been through, she's still in the gospel industry.
Okay.
So
okay.
I always go to her and be like, Mom, like, what should I do? How do I prepare for this?
How much should they be paying me for this?
Right, exactly. So, I really have to know my worth, and I also have to find out more about the business aspect, because this is only like my second year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that I'm still learning from. Mm-hmm. And then I go to Rebecca Patterson for, the projects, and, I want to advertise this certain thing to certain people. So what should I say? What should I do? Like, what are certain projects do I need to get done? She provides with a lot of information about these certain things. So those are pretty much the main two people I go to.
So do you ever think about going back to school to get a master's or a doctoral degree, or I mean, does that cross your mind? Not,
Yes, but seeing how tiring it is. My mom's like, you need to get your master's. It's like, I just graduated. Can you give me some time, please? I need.
No. We want you to get it all done. Come on now.
I know.
While you're young, before you get a house and a mortgage and a wife.
Oh my God.
No, but are you thinking about it as a possibility?
Yes. Okay. Definitely. Yes.
Okay. And getting a master's would allow you to do, I mean, it would allow you to teach, but what, I mean, is it what would that mean for you?
I don't know. I haven't got to that part yet.
Okay. Well, I mean, you just graduated college, so you got some time. Like you got some time. So tell me about, what is it about when you jump on stage? What is that first moment like? When you walk out there, what is that like?
So when I go on stage, the first thing that comes to my mind, oh yeah, I got a surprise for y'all. Pretty much. But I don't get nervous for some reason. It's just because this is what I love to do. Mm-hmm. So when you love to do something, you just want to show it off, So I just want to show people like, okay, this is something that I've been creating for like months. So I hope y'all enjoy this. It's going to be a fun time, So those are pretty much the things that come in my mind. I'm more or less of a talker.
Mhm. So have you rehearsed at the Schubert yet?
No, I actually
Okay.
haven't.
Do you get to rehearse at the Schubert before you
Yeah.
walk on the stage?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Have you ever played on a stage at the Schubert? Have you ever played the Schubert before?
Yes, actually, for high school.
Okay.
Yep. But not
Wow.
by myself. So now this is where things get a little, tipsy turvy. Like, whoa, I'm opening up.
Yes. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
I think it's
it,
kind of cool. So
it
now,
is.
um, tell me about your musician friends, because I know you got musician friends, because all musicians hang with musicians.
Oh man.
And so what are those conversations like? Like what, you know?
To be honest, it's I don't know. It's because I'm more to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really more like, even though I do have like musical friends, we don't really talk music,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just talk about
Just
other stuff.
hang and talk about other stuff.
Yeah, you know, like even my brother, we don't really talk music. It's just, that's my brother.
Mm-hmm. Now, do
So
you all ever get together and play as a family? Like, I don't know, around Thanksgiving or the holidays. I mean, I'm sure y'all were always playing together in
yeah,
the house.
yeah, yes, yep. Certain holidays, yeah, everybody come together and then we start playing our instruments because our grandma like, okay, you guys need to get your instruments.
Let's go.
Come over. Yep.
I bet you that's a good time at your house. I bet you that is a
It
good
is.
time at your parents' house with all y'all
It is.
together playing music and your mom singing and your dad and your brothers. I bet you, y'all could charge good money for that. You did.
be like the Jacksons.
Yes, the more family, the more family. We want more of the Moors. So I saw these young brothers, the brothers, the black violins. Have you
Right.
seen them? I've seen
Yeah.
them in concert a couple of times. And you remind me of them because they have a different vibe about the violin. They are classically trained, but they like that hip hop, urban R&B kind of vibe. And so in their shows, they kick it with the classical music so that they're classically trained. And then they just break out with some other kind of thing. And everybody's like, whoa, had no idea you could even do that, right? So do you find that, I mean, is that where you think you want to take your cello and your music? Like you want people to just see the cello as not just a classical music instrument?
Yes. Yes. Because that's the first thing that come to mind.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, you can play more than classical music on the cello or on any string instrument. So it's all about practice first, and then finding the sound, finding your own sound, and then you put it into your instrument. You know.
And so you're
I find it funny.
composing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So you were about to say it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people that train classical, not saying all, they don't know how to play other genres of music.
Ooh.
And I hear it. I'm like, okay, like he's not really or she's not really, training that aspect. So, I mean, the same thing goes with me too.
I like it. So how do people find you? Do you have a website that keeps up your events calendar so we can like come see you in places? Like, how do we know how are we gonna find you? How are we gonna come see you play somewhere other than May 12th at the Schubert for the NAACP Freedom Fund event? Beyond that,
Okay.
where can we find you?
So you could find me on Instagram. All right.
Okay.
It's more my last name, underscore than underscore talent. So
wait.
that's where you can find
more underscore. I'm doing this right now on my Instagram.
Okay.
More than THAN or THAN?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Underscore
more
talent.
than talent. I see it. Jonathan, more than talent. More than talent. Oh, I'm following you. See, I just followed you.
Okay, good.
I'm following you. Because I want to make sure I stay on top of where you go. So that's where you can do.
Right. That's where you'll get all my updates.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna stay rocking with you because I think you're so talented. And I tell you, that first time I saw you, I was just blown away. I was like, what in the world? I was like, you could do that with a cello? So I'm very proud of you, very proud of you. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be at the Freedom Fund event, but I'm going to catch you at another event because I'm going to be away at another event. I'm going to be away for a week at a storyteller retreat. But and I'm really bummed because this would have been the year I go to the Freedom Fund event. So I'm going to catch you at another event. I'm going to catch you at another event because I think you're very talented, and I just think you are amazing. So thank you for your time this morning, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
And say hi to your peoples.
Yep, thank you.
All right.
Hey y'all.
All right, Harry. And my work day is over, and I'll be back tomorrow. Still celebrating, but right now I'm going to get back into this day. Thank you, Jonathan Moore. Have a good concert May 12th at the Schubert, opening up for Raheem Devon at the NAACP Freedom Fund event. It's going to be fabulous. And I know I'll catch you with the Schubert people, with the New Haven Symphony people at some point. I know you'll be playing with them again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right, y'all. Harry, play us out. And I'll be back soon. Y'all have a good day. I am.